All right, good evening, folks. Welcome to tonight's edition of RWL Championship Wrestling. I'm Chicago Denny Awesome. I'm joined by Southwest Regional General Manager Gene Berry. Gino, we got a terrific lineup on tap tonight.
We most certainly have, Danny. An excellent lineup with several major RWL stars appearing this evening, and we'll be right back with our opening contest in just a moment. Oh, Danny, we're starting off the evening with a debut. The first time RWL appearance of Baron Corbin, and he's set to face Brenton Quinn Stewart along with Sister Goldenhair.
Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to tonight's edition of RWL Championship Wrestling. Our opening contest tonight is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Kansas City, Missouri, weighing 275 pounds, here is Baron Corbin.
All right, Gene, you're an expert at RWL stuff. Let me ask you a question. Why is this match ironic?
Oh, well, I think that's pretty obvious to an aficionado such as myself, yes, but not to the average fan, so allow me to elucidate if I can. Baron Corbin, making his debut here in RWL this evening, facing Brenton Quinn Stewart, who won his very first match in RWL against Kerry Von Erich at the Cow Palace Cup. So I'd imagine you're asking me, do I think Baron Corbin can defeat Brenton Quinn Stewart in his first match?
I can't get nothing past you. I give up.
Oh, you'll never slip one past me, Don. A year of community college served me in good stead. But let's talk about the match. Baron Corbin making his debut, and he was a moderate needle mover in WWE during his time there, but I don't think he's going to beat the Northridge Quake.
And his opponent, accompanied by Sister Goldenhair from Northridge, California, weighing 285 pounds, the Northridge Quake, Brenton Quinn Stewart.
Gino, am I crazy, or did the atmosphere change between these two?
They're not imagining it. Brenton Quinn Stewart and SGH, Sister Goldenhair, has been seen out a lot in public lately. And well, she certainly seems to have a new attitude. That jacket, bearing the legend, "Hands off, he's mine." Well, I think we can all safely ascertain what's gone on between these two. It must have been one magical night.
Yep, and they're probably both all filled up on Schnitzengruben, too.
And so this is another reason I say Baron Corbin. I don't like his chances this evening. Brenton Quinn Stewart has adopted a new attitude since joining the Ferentino group and since connecting with Sister Goldenhair. A level of confidence commonly not seen in people, unless, of course, they're very happy.
You know, Gino, both these guys about the same height and weight. It's a pretty even match.
I'd noticed that, too. We'll have to see how it all pans out.
All right, Willie Johnson rings the bell. Here we go. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Corbin whips Stewart into the corner, splashes him. Delivers a stomp to the arm. Brenton Quinn Stewart, rounded up by Baron Corbin, gets the arm locked in. One arm slams him. Corbin up on the middle rope, waiting for Stewart to stand up. A boot to the face. Changes his mind on the high-risk maneuver, catches a clothesline instead from Brenton Quinn Stewart. An overhand right. A kick, a couple of shots. Corbin counters. Tries to round up Stewart for a bear hug, but no good. That's not happening. A kick, a right. Corbin puts on the brakes again. Delivers a set of shots. Hey, these two, back and forth, hammer and tong.
I was expecting that. Again, as you point out, they are the same height and weight. and both of the same nasty disposition.
Off the top, elbow drop 10 feet up, 10 feet down to the chest of Baron Corbin, which must have felt like it exploded. A kick to the face from Brenton Quinn Stewart. And he's got some fans down here. Laredo, Texas. Well, very big on Brenton Quinn Stewart. Baron Corbin rolled inside the ring and writhing around like a clubbed fish. I really like Sister Goldenhair's new outfit. Stewart, back in the ring. Corbin catches a clothesline. Charges, delivers a kick to the face of Brenton Quinn Stewart. Tags him with a right that spins him around. Goes behind on him. Slams him down one arm again. Baron Corbin, a pretty powerful guy. Locks it up with Stewart. Up over the shoulders. To the corner we go, head first into the turnbuckle. Corbin slips to the outside for whatever reason. Stewart locks him up from behind, has him up, sidewalk slams him, and goes for the pin. But only a 2 count, according to the ref. A slap across the face. Brenton Quinn Stewart whips Corbin out onto the apron. Corbin counters with a shot, gets back inside the ring. Stewart, right there, delivers a set of shots and a backbreaker. BQ Stewart, rallying the troops here in Laredo. Big time knee, right to the head of Baron Corbin. Whoa, what an elbow drop. Gino, did you see the distance on that?
Very impressive for a man that size.
But only a 2 count again. Baron Corbin laid out, and BQ Stewart in the driver's seat big time. Corbin whipped to the ropes again. Stewart ducks under, leapfrogs, goes behind. German suplex on Baron Corbin. Man, Stewart's in rare form. Huh. Wow. BQ Stewart with a set of kicks, a right and a spin kick, takes Corbin down to the mat again. BQ Stewart getting ready to go air. Cross body from across the ring. Corbin back up, I don't believe it. Stewart gathers him up. Powerbomb with a pin here. 1, 2. That's just about gonna do it. Brenton Quinn Stewart picks up the win.
The time of the fall, 8 minutes, 56 seconds for winner, Brenton Quinn Stewart.
Well, full marks to Baron Corbin for not folding like a tent in a hurricane. But nonetheless, Brenton Quinn Stewart comes up with the win. 3 count pinfall. And I'm sure both he and Sister Goldenhair will be celebrating this evening.
Sure looks that way. Gino, what a win for Brenton Quinn Stewart, who's definitely moving up the ladder after a long time. His membership in the Ferentino group has definitely made a big difference in his confidence and his skill, and he's picking up wins like a lunatic. This one against Baron Corbin, really impressive. That takes care of our first match tonight. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with more RWL Championship Wrestling. Stick around, we'll be right back.
All right, fans, as RWL's championship continues, the lightning-fast Tony Dangerous, RWL's resident superhero, set to go one-on-one against Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero, accompanied by the ninth wonder of the world, China.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by the Hurricane. From Statinopolis, weighing 194 pounds, here is the lightning-fast Tony Dangerous.
All right, Gene, we got us a showcase matchup. The lightning-fast Tony Dangerous rolling up in the Danger Mobile with Hurricane Helms behind the wheel. All set to go, moving on up in the world. Set to lock it up with Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero, a true legend, Gino. This is going to be a great showcase matchup.
Totally agree with you. Tony Dangerous has been extremely popular and extremely successful of late. But Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero is certainly going to present a difficult challenge, especially since he likes to lie, cheat, and steal, and Tony Dangerous, with his superhero virtues, well, it's going to be a clash of personalities for sure.
And his opponent, accompanied by the ninth wonder of the world, China, from El Paso, Texas, weighing 221 pounds, Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero.
And here's another fellow who's been exceedingly popular lately, Eddie Guerrero with China. We've seen an awful lot of them in recent weeks on both Snarl and Rage. And tonight he makes his appearance here on RWL Championship against Tony Dangerous. I've really got to say, Danny, I don't think Tony Dangerous is going to be able to prevail against the likes of Latino Heat.
You got a good point there. After all, he does have China on his side, and well, he does like to get up with his shenanigans. But Tony Dangerous, he's really fast. He may give Eddie Guerrero a run for his money in the speed department.
A distinct possibility, of course, but I'm still leaning towards Eddie Guerrero.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a sensible decision. It's a logical decision. Don't get me wrong, Gino. I agree with you on that point. But Tony Dangerous could surprise us. He's done it before.
I'm not exactly sure what your position is, Dan, but I'm favoring Eddie Guerrero here. Sometimes superheroes don't win.
That's a good point. Referee Walt Rothburn rings the bell. Eddie Guerrero, blocked up by Tony Dangerous, whipped to the far left corner. There's a running elbow. The lightning fast one. Takes himself up, and well, that didn't work out quite the way he planned it. Both men missed their move, both trying for the dropkick. Eddie Guerrero with a right hand, and a bulldog off the ropes to Tony Dangerous. The Hurricane standing by in support of his friend, his tag team partner, Tony Dangerous. Eddie Guerrero rallying the crowd here in Laredo, and they love him in Texas. Oh, man. Eddie Guerrero goes to work on Tony Dangerous. Back into the corner we go. A slap across the face. He bounces off the ropes and a dropkick to the side of the head of Tony Dangerous. The lightning fast one. Having some problems here. Latino Heat. All the way up and all the way down. Elbow across the chest, exploding across the chest. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Nope. No dice. Tony Dangerous kicking out. There's a kick to the back from Eddie Guerrero. Latino Heat in control of things here. Gets a hold of Tony off the ropes. Top rope choke from Eddie Guerrero. Got to expect a little bit of chicanery from Latino Heat. Tony Dangerous back up again. Eddie Guerrero whips him to the ropes. Leapfrogs. Gets a hold of Tony. Tony counters with a kick to the knee. Off the... Whoa! Another bulldog rebound. Another cover here. Only a 1. That's what the ref says. Tony Dangerous with a forearm to Latino Heat. Guerrero rolls to the outside. Tony Dangerous goes flying. Crossbody to the outside. Eddie Guerrero slams him down. Rounds him back up. Tony Dangerous pitched towards the barricade. Tony rounds up Guerrero. Delivers a shot. An elbow to the face. Eddie Guerrero rolled back inside the ring. Tony Dangerous flies in over the top rope. Drop kick takes Guerrero down again. Rolling elbow, don't find the mark. Eddie Guerrero drop kicks the knee, but no good. Moonsault off the ropes from the lightning fast one. And Tony Dangerous loves to fly. Eddie Guerrero, who can't fly, is hung up off the top rope. Tony Dangerous off the rope again. Another flying crossbody to Latino Heat. And he is taking a beating. Guerrero counters. A kick to the midsection to Tony Dangerous. He's got him up the gory stretch. Tony Dangerous could submit to the gory stretch. Eddie Guerrero releases the hold. A stomp to the back of Tony Dangerous. Latino Heat showing off to the crowd. Takes himself all the way to the top turnbuckle. Tony Dangerous still laid out. Oh, beautiful. And with a pin. 1, 2. Tony Dangerous forcing the left shoulder up before the count of 3. Eddie Guerrero takes himself all the way up to the top again. There's the frog splash. This could be it. 1, 2.
I don't believe it. The frog splash usually ends these things, but Tony Dangerous powered out again.
And Eddie Guerrero don't appreciate it. Latino Heat pummeling Tony Dangerous with right hands to the head. The lightning fast one. Up against the ropes. Here comes Eddie Guerrero, clothesline over the top rope. And out to the floor goes Tony Dangerous. Eddie Guerrero off the top elbow. Right across the chest of Tony Dangerous again. The Hurricane stepping aside, giving these guys some room. Eddie Guerrero stamping the hands of Tony Dangerous on the outside. Referee Walt Rockburn counting as Eddie Guerrero goes to work on the leg of Tony Dangerous. And he's taking him apart. The lightning fast one. Rounded up again. Eddie Guerrero pitches him towards the ring steps, but Tony somehow instinctively puts on the brakes. Both men back inside the ring. Tony Dangerous, look at this. Eddie Guerrero up against the ropes. Tony bounces off the ropes. There's a little 619 action right there from the lightning fast one. Oh, that was beautiful. Eddie Guerrero's laid out. Now's the time to take the pin, Tony. Leg drop across the throat of Latino Heat. Tony Dangerous with a forearm and a drop kick. Takes him to, wow, he's spent. What a ride this one's been. Again, Tony Dangerous off the top rope. A splash across. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2, 3. This one's all over.
The time of the fall, 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Your winner, lightning fast, Tony Dangerous.
And just as quickly as he came, the Danger Mobile rolls up to take him home. Wherever home might be for this particular superhero. Tony Dangerous picking up a very impressive win over Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero. And without question, Tony Dangerous has certainly moved on up in the world.
You ain't kidding. Tony Dangerous picking up a really impressive win here over Latino Heat, and it ain't because Latino Heat didn't try, because he damn sure did. But Tony Dangerous, as you can see right there in the replay, used up every last bit of that superhero energy to pick up this win. We'll be back with more RWL Championship Wrestling right after the break.
Oh, Danny, I've got a feeling about this match, and you know my instincts are never wrong. Coming up next, newcomer Nikki Leroy, set to face Tiana of the Sectarians. We hardly ever see Danny, so that's right off the bat, that's strange.
The following ladies contest is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Marseille, France, here is Nikki Leroy.
One of the newest gals on the ladies roster, Nikki Leroy, the daughter of Lady T. Leroy, RWL Hall of Famer. And Nikki Leroy, a former fitness model, and boy does it show. She's in terrific shape, but she had an unlucky draw. Let me tell you, she's facing Tiana from the Sectarians, who hardly ever shows up, so that's going to be really weird.
It's definitely going to be, whenever the Sectarians show up, it's always an unusual situation. It's become more and more progressively unusual as time has gone on. smoke and mirrors routine of the sectarians is starting to wear thin. At least it is for me, Danny.
Yeah, it starts to grate after a while, but it does have an effect. The sectarians do have fans. God help me, they got fans.
Absolute degenerate dregs of society, Danny. When they talk about baskets of deplorables, anyone who's a fan of the sectarians certainly fits the bill here. I'm wishing Nicky Leroy good luck in this encounter with Tiana. As with the sectarians, anything is likely to happen, as you can see.
We sectarians and all of our children welcome you, Nicky Leroy. You shall be our instrument of example, as we want the world to see what happens to those foolish enough to defy the sectarian will, which is only for their benefit. In any case, you shall serve as our demonstration tonight, as you appear to be expendable to RWL, serving our purpose far more usefully. And so, I would have you meet my daughter, joined by Amanda Robinson, her right arm for this evening. Tiana is going to make an example of you. We are sorry about this, but you have been chosen.
And you know, Gino, I just got through talking about how weird the sectarians have gotten, but this one takes the cake. Tiana making her way down to the ring with Amanda Robinson and whatever the hell that thing is. It ain't no backpack.
I can provide some background on this. Johnny Bianco has provided me with some information here. That apparently is the head of Angelus Vulcan. And apparently Vulcan was a wrestler in the sectarians during the time of Xavier Youngblood before Kaz Manson took over. And apparently this Angelus Vulcan has passed away, and they're using his desiccated head as some sort of means of communication with the other world. Of course, any fool can see it's a hollowed-out jack-o'-lantern with an appliance bulb inside. Honestly, as I said, Danny, smoke and mirrors. Look at that. Come on.
Look, you know, they did have a guy, Angelus Vulcan, and he did pass away, but I sincerely doubt, ladies and gentlemen, that that is the desiccated head of Angelus Vulcan. The sectarians just get weirder and weirder every week. And this matchup here with Nicky Leroy, it's likely to get even stranger than it already is.
You know, Dan, it's an interesting point that Johnny Bianco brought up. Now, we understand it's completely silly, it's smoke and mirrors, it's all Halloween nonsense. But the danger is that these people actually have people that follow and believe them. That's the true danger of these people.
Trouble is, it's about to get very, very real for Nicky Leroy. Well, all right, here we go. Referee Walt Rothburn rings the bell. Big Trump center ring. Nicky Leroy takes a swing at Tiana. Tiana counters. Nicky Leroy counters. Gets a hold of Tiana. He's got her up. Talk about power. This gal, no nonsense. Look at that slam. Face first into the canvas. Down goes Tiana. A big elbow drop right across the chest of Tiana. A rebound off the ropes from Nicky Leroy. A big crushing splash. Here's a pin. One. No dice. Tiana gets back up. Nicky Leroy catches a knee. Delivers a headbutt to Tiana. Rounds her up for a bear hug, and you know she's strong enough to do it.
She certainly has it locked in very well. No, unfortunately, Tiana is going to disengage the hold.
Tiana Marquez with a clothesline to Nicky Leroy. Takes her down. Amanda Robinson on the apron. Already disengaging the turnbuckle. An elbow from Tiana. Another clothesline to Nicky Leroy. Down she goes. Nicky Leroy catches a shot to the side of the head. Tiana rounds her back up. Picks her up over the shoulder, takes a walk with her. Head first into the steel. Oh, that sucks. Nikki Leroy rolls out to the floor. Tiana with a double axe handle right across the top of the head. Tiana Marquez slams Nikki Leroy on the floor. There's a splash. The referee already counting. Tiana in control of Nikki Leroy right now. There's another splash. And Tiana Marquez delivering quite a beating over here to Nikki Leroy, which I suppose was the plan all the way along. Nikki Leroy counters, gets back up, gets herself back inside the ring. Tiana taking the long way around. Makes her way back in. Amanda Robinson already was trying to assist with a steel chair, a jumping neckbreaker from Tiana to Nikki Leroy. It's like a handicap match in there for this poor kid. Here's another pin. 1, 2.
It certainly is a huge disadvantage having Amanda Robinson at ringside. Traditionally, Amanda Robinson always up to no good whenever she's at ringside.
Tiana Marquez takes herself all the way up to the top turnbuckle here. Nikki Leroy's laid out center ring, big time splash. Right across the chest and midsection of Nikki Leroy. Tiana with a discus punch takes down Nikki Leroy. Nikki rounded up again. A couple of hard lefts and elbow to the face. Leroy counters. Whips Tiana to the ropes, ducks under, leapfrogs. Tiana catches an elbow and down she goes center ring. Nikki Leroy bounces off the ropes, delivers another crushing splash. But Tiana, she rebounds off again and she's going to go a second time. Tiana Marquez back up onto her feet, catches the right and gets shoved down to the canvas. And Nikki Leroy, talk about power. Here she comes charging, a counter from Tiana and a counter from Nikki Leroy, slamming Tiana to the center of the ring. Tiana Marquez whips to the corner. Nikki Leroy with a running splash and an elbow to the face shoves Tiana out center ring. Flip over neck whip doesn't quite find the mark. Nikki Leroy still got the crowd behind her. There's a stomp to the leg of Tiana. Tiana rounded back up. Nikki Leroy with the upper hand right now. Tiana all the way up with a quick counter. Goes behind on Nikki Leroy, delivers a shot to the back. Whips her to the ropes, has a... Oh, that's a hell of a fight spine buster. There's a pin. 1, 2. Again, just a 2. And Tiana don't like it. Nikki Leroy rolling to the outside. Tiana up on the top turnbuckle. Here she comes. Whoa! Quick counter into a power slam. Nikki Leroy, talk about a powerful gal. Tiana rounded back up, a spinning elbow. And another splash for Tiana. As the referee continues to count, there's another splash. Nikki Leroy trying to knock out all the wind. Hey, a third one. Wow. She's definitely got the advantage now. Tiana rolls back inside the ring. Now might be a good time to go for a pin. Nikki Leroy with the crowd in the palm of her hand here. All the way up to the top turnbuckle. Here she comes. Elbow across the chest of Tiana. Here's another pin. 1, 2. You gotta be kidding. Tiana still in the game here. Nikki Leroy starting to get a little frustrated. A heel hook stretch from Nikki Leroy to Tiana. Nikki Leroy releases the hold. Rounds up Tiana by her hair. Has her up over the shoulders. Fireman's carry position. Cyclone. What a slam. Here's a pin. 1, 2. Now, you know, Gino, I really would have thought that would have been the end of it.
Apparently not. But Nikki Leroy still with the upper hand here.
Tiana slowly getting back to a standing position here. She's got a hold of Tiana, slammed headfirst into the turnbuckle. A hard right hand from Nikki Leroy, another one. Nikki Leroy, countered by Tiana, who rounds her up into a bear hug. The ropes are right there. The referee tells her to break it up. Walt Rothburn, right on top of things here. A quick counter from Nikki Leroy. A right, a left, and a hard shot to the midsection. And Nikki Leroy taking control back away from Tiana in this matchup. Very important. Be good for her to make the sectarians look stupid. There's a whip to the ropes, a duck under from Nikki Leroy, a leapfrog, and an elbow takes Tiana down center ring. Tiana rounded up, and a discus punch in retaliation from Nikki Leroy to Tiana. Nikki Leroy countered by Tiana, quickly back up on her feet. There's a kick that takes Nikki Leroy down to the canvas. An elbow drop right across the chest. Tiana back on her feet and trying to take control back here. Nikki Leroy in the corner. Tiana charges. There's a splash. Nikki Leroy falls out towards center. A rebound off the ropes. And another crushing splash from Tiana. Nikki Leroy back in trouble again. Tiana with a stomp to the arm. Tiana Marquez takes herself to the outside. Nikki Leroy laid out near center. And here she comes. Elbow drop right across the chest again. Here's another pin attempt. 1, 2. And just like that, this one's all over. Tiana picks up the win over Nikki Leroy by pinfall.
Well, it seems the ring announcer doesn't want to get within a mile of Tiana. Really can't say I blame him, but she wins this match over Nikki Leroy in exactly 8 minutes. And she certainly cuts an intimidating figure, doesn't she?
She sure does. What a matchup. Nikki Leroy gave it a pretty good performance, but Tiana Marquez was just a little bit too much. Boy, these sectarians are sure weird. We'll be back with more championship wrestling right after the break. Stay with us. Well, Gene, we only got one tag team match on tonight, but it's a ladies' match, and it's going to be a treat, with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark set to lock it up with Josie Rod and Lisa Rivera, Las Reinas Latinas, and they have been hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following ladies tag team match is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, the team of Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark.
Well, this is a rematch of sorts. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark have already met Las Reinas 2 months ago at the Spectrum. And, well, it didn't go well for Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, but they're back tonight to take another crack at Las Reinas and that unbeaten streak. And, Gino, that unbeaten streak is what makes them absolutely terrifying.
Very scary indeed. Las Reinas with unparalleled success. Absolutely amazing. And they are, in their own way, absolutely gripping. I mean, just to look at them is absolutely captivating. Myron said it, and he's absolutely right. I think Las Reinas are absolutely perfect.
Well, it's a lot more than good looks and personality that have kept them in the unbeaten column. I think it's that Guns family genetics again. The blood of Angie Angel Guns and the Guns brothers runs through Las Reinas.
Their opponents, accompanied by Rosita from San Juan, Puerto Rico, the team of Josie Rod and Lisa Rivera, Las Reinas Latinas.
And the addition of Rosita has certainly enhanced the image of Las Reinas Latinas. Lisa Rivera leading front and center here. Josie Rod, the obvious captain of the team, on the left, and Rosita on the far right. All of them second-generation stars. Of course, Rosita, the daughter of Rod Whitley and L.P. Thunder. Not a Guns family member, but she shares remarkable genetics as well.
You know, there really is something otherworldly about Las Reinas Latinas. I mean, look at them. They're physically perfect, but they've got this air about them, like they're not of this world or something. It's really strange.
It's a certain je ne sais quoi, of course, but Los Reinas Latinas, regardless of that, have maintained an unbeaten streak since their debut, and they appear to be determined to hang on to it. And I don't know that Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark are going to actually pull off an upset here. This does not seem very likely at all.
I don't think so either. Wow, Las Reinas really pouring it on, and why not? They've been so successful, and the fans are just nuts about them.
They certainly are. The reaction here in Laredo is absolutely amazing. Has the crowd in the palm of their hand.
They sure do. Gonna be a great matchup, this rematch with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark.
It's quite all right, Danny. They appear to have that effect on just about everyone. Wow. Absolutely amazing.
Gonna be Zoe Stark starting it off for her team against Josie Rod for Las Reinas. And Willie Johnson rings the bell. Zoe Stark opens up with a set of shots and a kick. Takes Josie Rod down to the mat. Josie flips to the opposing team's corner. Zoe Stark slams her head into the turnbuckle. Zoe Stark with another hard right to Josie Rod. Josie grabbed by the ankles, alley-oop assisted out of the corner.
Zoe Stark starting off very impressively.
Zoe Stark off the top. What air! Look at that, right across. Almost coast to coast. And a beautiful rolling thunder from Zoe Stark. Josie Rod having her problems right here. Josie whipped to the corner again. Zoe Stark shoves her out of the corner, bounces off the ropes. There's a Hurricane Rana to Josie. Athletic little minx, ain't she? Zoe Stark doing a little showboating, but here comes Lisa Rivera. Lisa catches a kick right to the face. Zoe Stark, real aggressive. She's no nonsense.
Certainly isn't. Definitely has a reputation for being a no-nonsense wrestler. Very physical.
She's sure showing it now. Josie Rod catches a kick to the calf from Zoe Stark. She's got her up for the suplex, but wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Josie Rod counters. Gets a hold of Zoe Stark, slams her into the turnbuckle. And starts driving shoulders into the midsection of Zoe Stark. Zoe counters. Gets out of the corner. Whips Josie into the corner. Shoves her out of the corner. Comes off the ropes again. A second Hurricane Rana to Josie Rod. Here's a pin attempt. One. Only a one. Josie Rod might want to think about tagging in Lisa at this point. Josie whipped to the other team's corner here. A slug right to the face from Zoe Stark. Excuse me. Another alley-oop out of the corner from Zoe Stark. Josie Rod laid out and in big trouble. Zoe Stark thinking about her next move here, calculating it. There's a stomp to the arm. Whoa, well, that was a swing and a miss right there. Josie gets her from behind. Has her up, back suplex from Josie Rod. A little bit of showing off here from Josie as Shayna Baszler comes in, trips her up, takes her down to the mat. Shayna Baszler also no nonsense. A jawbreaker. A hard right. Takes Shayna Baszler down to the canvas. Josie with a double axe handle across the back of Shayna. Turns her over. Oh, that forearm. That is a vicious, vicious forearm.
He's meant to knock someone out.
He sure could. They've done it before. A running spear from Shayna Baszler to Lisa Rivera. Now a little Texas cloverleaf and an elbow to the leg to Lisa. Shayna Baszler turns it over to Zoe Stark. Lisa on the outside. Zoe Stark moves in, goes after Josie instead. Takes herself out onto the apron with Josie Rad. Oh, a DDT right into the apron. Lisa rounded up by Zoe Stark into an abdominal stretch. Rosita just pacing around, looking a little bit concerned. Things are going kind of rough here. Zoe Stark shoved down to the canvas. There's a double boot stomp right to the gut from Josie. A kick to the chest to Zoe Stark. And again, Josie Rod doing a little bit of showing off for the fans here in Laredo. Josie back inside the ring. Here comes Zoe. Caught from behind by Josie Rod. Up over the shoulders we go here. Slam down Dominator style. Josie Rod with spiked thumbs to the throat. Wow.
That is that is a serious move right there. And meant to hurt the opponent.
Only a 2 count. Josie Rod going to work on Zoe Stark, who's starting to fade here. Driving knee right into the head of Zoe Stark. Josie right there to keep her from getting up. Here comes Lisa Rivera on the tag. Zoe Stark slow to get up. Lisa misses, catches a clothesline from Zoe Stark. Zoe locks it up with Lisa. Goes behind on her. There's a nice suplex. Zoe Stark with a Hurricane Rana on Lisa Rivera. A knee to the back of the head. A stomp to the head. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark looking for some payback here against Las Reinas for their first loss against them. Elbows to the midsection from Shayna Baszler. They lock it up. Whip to the ropes, quickly taken down to the canvas. Shayna countered. Lisa with a clothesline drops Shayna Baszler to the mat. Lisa Rivera with the driving knee into the head of Shayna Baszler. Double boot stomp right to the guts. Lisa locks it up with Shayna Baszler, who winds up getting the upper hand. Sets Lisa up against the ropes. And now starts yanking the arm against the ropes. Shayna Baszler, another no-nonsense wrestler. Lisa Rivera on the apron. Shayna Baszler charges but is quickly countered by Lisa. Shayna Baszler goes after Josie instead. Josie counters her. Zoe Stark rolls Lisa back inside the ring. Shayna Baszler thinks she's in control of things, but here comes Josie Rod, who might change her mind. What a nasty neckbreaker from Shayna Baszler. Josie Rod rolls to the outside. Lisa Rivera caught up by Shayna Baszler. A stomp to the arm as Josie makes it back inside the ring, gets a hold of Shayna. Lines her up against the ropes. Takes her down, and a rope-assisted stomp to the chest. And here's a pin attempt. 1. Just the 1, says Willie Johnson. Lisa Rivera brought in on the tag. Shayna Baszler trying to beat it out of town. She's got a chance. Lisa stops to get a little love from the fans. Zoe Stark comes in on the tag. A clothesline takes Lisa down to the mat. Zoe Stark going for the quick pin. 1. But no dice. Zoe Stark catches a kick to the gut, and here we go. Here's the pedigree. I think that's going to be the end right there. 1, 2, Yep, that's gonna do it. Los Reinos' undefeated streak continues.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time of the fall was 8 minutes and 8 seconds, and your winners by pinfall, Las Reinas Latinas.
Oh, there you have it, Danny. The unbeaten streak of Los Reinos continues as they pick up a second win over Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. You kind of get the feeling Los Reinos knew it all along.
Wow, they are absolutely scary, and there's the pedigree that put down Zoe Stark for the win. We'll be right back with more RWL Championship Wrestling in a minute.
And in tonight's main event, another rematch of sorts, involving Mad Dog Mark McKay, accompanied by Miss Morse X, facing the Cruiserweight Champion Gary Galaxy, accompanied by Sylvia Strong, in a non-title main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's main event is a non-title match set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by Miss Morse X from Ithaca, New York, weighing 205 pounds, Mad Dog Mark McKay.
Ah, it was high time Miss Morse X interspersed her wardrobe with a little bit more variety. I have to admit I actually like the new outfit.
Yeah, I'm sure Mad Dog Mark McKay appreciates it too. McKay been very, very busy lately. His last gig, humiliating Ballarat Jack Jones for his firing of Jessica Goldman from the UK ladies.
Well, Ballarat Jack has made some very bad life choices, and they'll come back to bite him on the bottom sooner or later. But right now, we're focused on Mad Dog Mark McKay. His last encounter with Gary Galaxy was for the RWL Cruiserweight Championship. This is a non-title match, but McKay would love to win it.
Yeah, the only problem is Gary Galaxy ain't in a hurry to give it up. Gary Galaxy, the current and reigning Cruiserweight Champion, under the guidance of Sylvia Strong, the Stronghold still holding a ton of gold. And Gary Galaxy has become very possessive of the Cruiserweight title since he last gained it. And he has not let it go since. Oh, here we go. Gary doing a little bit of showing off here.
He always does this, whether he's on the microphone or just being, well, arrogant. But it's a playful sort of arrogance. You can almost forgive it.
His opponent, accompanied by manageress Sylvia Strong from Chesapeake, Virginia, weighing 196 pounds. He is the RWL Cruiserweight Champion, Gary Galaxy.
Gary's made his position on Mad Dog Mark McKay quite plain. He neither likes nor dislikes McKay, but he is determined that the Cruiserweight Championship should not fall into McKay's hands while Gary Galaxy is wearing it.
Yeah, that would be catastrophic. His pants would fall down. Non-title matchup for tonight's main event. A revisiting, as Gino says, between Gary Galaxy and Mad Dog Mark McKay. And McKay, he's kind of indifferent about Gary Galaxy too. But he'd like to have that Cruiserweight Championship, and I guess that's really the only thing that matters. Two big stars, a championship caliber main event. What more could you want, Gino?
Prime rib.
Well, yeah, I guess that's something. All right, referee Willie Johnson rings the bell. McKay opens up with a jab. Gary Galaxy puts on the brakes. Galaxy escorts McKay to the ropes. Gets a hold on him. McKay counter whips him. Look at this, Gary Galaxy with a quick little alley-oop and a kick right to the face of Mad Dog Mark McKay. McKay catches a stomp to the arm from Gary Galaxy. The Prototype rounds him up for a gut wrench suplex. Galaxy takes himself to the top turnbuckle. Here he comes, leg drop right across the throat of McKay. And for a quick pin, 1, 2, but nope. McKay powering out. Mad Dog Mark McKay in trouble here. Gary Galaxy really starting to open up on him.
Galaxy, very aggressive. McKay Needs to make an opening if he can find one. If he can't find one, he's going to have to make one himself.
Galaxy over the top and turns himself into a human missile. Mad Dog Mark McKay's laid out. Gary Galaxy showboating to the fans. The referee's counting. Again, McKay counters. The whip gets back inside the ring. Galaxy opens up with a cup. Oh, look at this. McKay whips Galaxy to the ropes. Galaxy puts on the brakes again. Gary Galaxy whips McKay to the ropes. Power slam, sent the ring. Beautifully done. There's a cover. 1, 2. A second near fall, but not near enough. Mad Dog Mark McKay still in the game. Gary Galaxy still in control. Vertical suplex from the Prototype. The Cruiserweight Champion on fire here. Mad Dog Mark McKay hasn't been able to mount no offense. McKay quickly back up. Gets a hold of Gary Galaxy. Escorts him towards the corner, head first into the turnbuckle. A hard right hand from McKay. The Mad Dog with a chop across the chest of Gary Galaxy. Drives a knee into the head of the Prototype. Miss Morsex standing ringside watching it all. She's been pretty hot too. Helped her team win that mixed tag with Ballarat Jack and Virginia Austin.
Yeah. Yes, well, as I said, Mad Dog Mark McKay's been keeping himself quite busy.
He just exposed the turnbuckle, keeping very busy. Gary Galaxy laid out in the corner. McKay, wait for him to stand up. Here he comes. A flying punch right to the face. Here's another pin. 1. Just a 1 that time. But Mad Dog Mark McKay finally starting to turn it around here. Neckbreaker. And he sent Gary Galaxy flying. Galaxy rounded up by McKay. Hard right hand takes him right down to the mat. Mad Dog Mark McKay in the driver's seat now. Gary Galaxy counters with a kick, quickly gets back up. Charges, there's a flying forearm and another leg drop. That was nicely done. 1, 2. No, just the 1. Mad Dog Mark McKay rolls to the outside. Gary Galaxy charges over the top again. And one more time. Turns himself into a human missile. McKay spun around with a hard right. And a back suplex from Gary Galaxy. The ref counting. Galaxy drops a kick to the leg of Mad Dog Mark McKay. Does it again. McKay catching all kinds of hell on the outside over here with the ref continuing to count.
Galaxy almost succeeded in getting him back inside the ring. Chose to go in himself.
McKay finally snaps out of it, indicating to the fans that he's okay, but here comes Gary Galaxy again. Mad Dog Mark McKay whips him towards the barricades, rolls himself back inside the ring. Sylvia Strong looking on, she ain't worried. Gary Galaxy still in control as far as she's concerned. There's a clothesline to Mad Dog Mark McKay. McKay rounds him up, hard right hand to Gary Galaxy, down he goes. A driving knee into the head from McKay. Mad Dog Mark McKay rounds up the champ, but hold on a second, here we go, he gets taken down. Gary Galaxy with a stomp to the arm of Mad Dog Mark McKay. Gary sets up the submission here, stretching the legs of Mad Dog Mark McKay. McKay's rounded back up by Gary. Gary whips him to the ropes, misses with that move. Misjudged the distance, catches a drop kick from McKay. Gary goes out, comes back in for a reset. McKay right on him right away. Gary counters quickly, goes behind on McKay instead. McKay counters with elbows to Gary Galaxy. A quick jab, a chop, a right, and a spinning back fist sends Gary Galaxy reeling. Gary counters quick with elbows, trying to put out the fire here on McKay. McKay whipped to the corner. A running forearm from Gary Galaxy. It's already busted open.
Noticed that before. When Mad Dog McKay tagged him with that right.
Oh, McKay is spinning on the outside. Gary Galaxy's biding his time. Changed his mind. He's going to come out after him. Start the count all over again. A set of shots and kicks. McKay up over the shoulders in a fireman's Gary steamroller. Galaxy nailed him with a steamroller on the outside. Willie Johnson continuing to count. Galaxy takes himself to the top turnbuckle. Here he comes. Leg drop from 10 feet up to McKay. And he caught all of it. Mad Dog Mark McKay rolled back inside the ring by the prototype. Gary Galaxy taking control of this one again. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Wow. Mad Dog Mark McKay making sure he got that shoulder up. Gary Galaxy rounds up McKay. Grapples him. Hard whip to the ropes. Here he comes. And wow, what a beautiful, beautiful neckbreaker. There's a pin. 1, 2, 3. Chop this one up. Gary Galaxy picks up the win by pinfall.
The time of the match, 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Your winner, Gary Galaxy.
Gary Galaxy has some amazing moves. And like a good poker player, he never shows his hand until the time is right. And all of a sudden you see a move from him that you've never seen before, or one that's particularly colorful. And you say to yourself, my God, that man is talented.
Gary Galaxy is definitely that. Look at this beautiful, beautiful neckbreaker that put the exclamation point on it for Mad Dog Mark McKay. And with that, folks, we've put a cap on this week's edition of RWL Championship Wrestling. As always, thanks for joining us, and thanks for supporting RWL. Coming up next on Saturday night, December the 13th, RWL Snarl returns. Me and Gino will be back when we're back. For everybody here at RWL, I've been CDA Chicago Danny Awesome. We'll see you next time. Good night.